How has the mysterious disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 left a lasting impact on the families of those on board? And what psychological toll has it taken on them as they navigate through ambiguity and grief? In what ways was this unprecedented aviation tragedy influenced by the perceptions and feelings of the global flying public, heightening anxieties and altering attitudes towards air travel? And how have the collective efforts to address the aftermath of Flight MH370 paved the way for enhanced safety measures in aviation? And what role has media sensationalism played in shaping public opinion and response to such incidents? Stick around to find out. Welcome to Aviation Chronicles. Subscribe and let's dive in. First, we are going to see the small story of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a Boeing 777-200ER, departed Kuala Lumpur International Airport for Beijing, China. Tragically, the plane unexpectedly disappeared from radar displays, becoming one of the history's most puzzling aviation mysteries. The last known location of the aircraft was over the southern Indian Ocean. The wreckage of MH370 remained elusive despite intensive search efforts involving multiple nations and specialists, and the fate of 239 individuals on the airline's flight is still unknown. The aviation industry, as well as the family of those on the flight, have been forever changed by this disappearance, which has left a devastating emotional toll on those families as they deal with the ongoing pain and uncertainty. In this incident, we see how it affects on family. Firstly, we see this incident's ambiguity and uncertainty. The extended uncertainty over the fate of their loved ones was the biggest psychological effects on the families of MH370 passengers. The families of MH370 were kept in a state of constant uncertainty. Unlike more common accidents where debris is discovered, they had trouble processing their grief and coming to terms with it because there was no hard evidence. They experienced an especially severe emotional rollercoaster due to the lack of closure and the never-ending hope that their family might still be alive. Families struggled between holding on to hope and accepting the hard reality of the unknown. This ambiguity made it difficult for them to express their sorrow or find closure, which made their suffering worse. Move to their grief and trauma. The grieving process for the MH370 passengers' family was difficult and drawn out. Without a body or debris, traditional mourning rites like funerals and burials could not be performed, putting these families in an uncertain situation. It was difficult for them to accept the truth of their loss and say their final goodbyes because there were no tangible remnants. Complex grieving, which is frequently marked by protracted denial and unresolved bereavement, became a regular occurrence for the families of MH370. The grieving process was made more difficult by the fact that they had to deal with a particular type of painful loss that was unlike any other. Finding comfort and healing, which are crucial components of accepting the death of a loved one, was challenging for them due to their particular sort of sorrow. Next, we see the impact on mental health. The family's psychological toll affected their mental health. Their emotional health suffered serious and long-lasting impacts from the lingering ambiguity and the lack of resolution. Many family members reported experiencing anxiety, despair, and even post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. Chronic tension and a persistent sense of powerlessness were brought on by the ongoing emotional anguish caused by the unsolved MH370 mystery. Relationships within the family were also strained as a result of the emotional upheaval as each family member dealt with loss and uncertainty in their own particular way. For many family members, getting professional assistance was vital to manage their mental distress. The disappearance of Flight MH370 had a significant and protracted impact on the families. The persistent ambiguity, inability to engage in customary mourning rituals, and mental health issues led to a particularly difficult grieving process. The relatives of those on board MH370 are still dealing with the psychological effects of this tragic and ongoing event, even though the rest of the world may have gone on. Their suffering serves as a reminder of the value of showing compassion and support to individuals who have gone through extreme loss and adversity. We see about effects on the flying public. Number 1, anxiety and fear. Travelers all over the world experienced dread and anxiety as a result of the MH370 event. Concerns regarding the security of air travel were raised when a commercial airplane with 239 people on board mysteriously vanished. The dependability of airline systems and the expertise of aviation authorities started to come under scrutiny from passengers. Many people were reluctant to fly because they were afraid something similar would happen again. The media's thorough coverage of the MH370 disappearance, which frequently sensationalized the incident's unknown elements, served to increase this worry and anxiety. As a result, travelers were constantly exposed to news that increased their worry and made them question the security of flying. Number 2 is enhanced safety measures. Following the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, the aviation sector enacted improved safety procedures to avoid repeat disasters. These steps included enhanced cockpit security, stricter communication protocols, and improved airplane tracking systems. Real-time monitoring was made possible by enhanced aircraft tracking, especially in distant areas, while improved communication protocols intended to keep in constant contact with the aircraft. Increased cockpit security decreased the possibility of unwanted entry. These actions served to calm travelers while also underscoring the gravity of the MH370 disaster and the industry's dedication to improving aviation safety and averting similar mysteries in the future. Number 3 is media sensationalism. The public's image of air travel after the disappearance of MH370 was significantly shaped by the media. Even though it gave details about the incident, it frequently sensationalized the catastrophe. The ongoing exposure to a paranormal and scary tale left a lasting impression on the public's mind. The media's constant focus on MH370 took advantage of the incident's unexplored potential. Sensationalized stories heightened fear and worry among the flying public by perpetuating a sense of mystery and suspense. Due to the continued media attention on the strange disappearance, travelers began to doubt the safety of air travel. Travelers affected by the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 were affected significantly. Fear of flying increased, passengers became more aware of safety precautions, and sensationalism in the media added to anxieties. The loss of MH370 serves as a sobering reminder of the lasting psychological consequences that a single catastrophic tragedy may have on all people across the world. Despite the fact that air travel is still one of the safest modes of transportation. Despite these consequences, the aviation industry continues to make a concerted effort to ensure the safety and security of air travel while seeking to regain the confidence of the flying public. Additionally, the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 is a heart-wrenching tragedy that has left an indelible mark on the families of the passengers and the global flying public. The psychological impact of this event, characterized by uncertainty, grief, and fear, has forever altered the way we think about air travel. In the wake of MH370, we must acknowledge the profound psychological impact on the families and the flying public. While it is essential to remember those who were lost, it's equally important to use this tragedy as a catalyst for enhancing aviation safety and providing support to those affected. As we remember the tragedy of MH370, let us strive for a world where air travel is safer and the families of the victims can find closure and healing they deserve. We hope that this exploration of the psychological impact on families and the flying public has shed light on the enduring consequences of this event. Thank you for watching. Follow for more.